Appreciate it, host. If you were to delete the voice out of the person known as CH, I think that would like keep my sanity in check, and I think it would be like great.
Oh wait, what is he? Oh yeah, so the first person is gonna be Rookie versus Scholar, and you guys are starting at 6:15. I'm just gonna do like a small speech.
That's true. It's fine. I'm nervous. I mean, yeah. It's obviously natural to be nervous. I think anyone would be.
But hold on.
I think it's perfectly fine for me to be nervous, but you know.
Okay, so actually, like, yeah, I'm good to go.
Okay.
But hey guys, hello everyone. I know there's not like a lot of people in here right now, but if you can, please tap your screens, like the live, and share it with anybody who you think might be interested. My name is Mr. Coco. I host debates on TikTok, trying to bring professional debates to TikTok. And today we're doing COCO MANIA 7. The COCO MANIA series is like the debates that I host on TikTok. I also help out with Day of Debates, and like there's a Day of Debates series where I host formal debates with my friends OG Kylo and AR, and we do formal debates on there. Today we have 3 debates that are happening tonight. We have Rookie.kg versus Scholar.af over does the classical theistic God exist? We have Cap.kg versus Trivialist on error theory, and then Kylo versus Z on trans women, the trans women topic. So with that, those are going to be our 3 debates, and also in between we're going to have like 15-minute segments for audience questions, comments, concerns, and critiques. And ultimately, I would say, you know, if you really want to help out, please tap your screens, share with anybody who you think might be interested. The taps help us get on the For You page. And then in regards to gifts, please gift the people who are debating, gift the judges. Today we have like 1 judge, a team, because we're kind of short notice. But we are going to do audience vote as well. Gift the contestants, give the judges. We might ask the audience and see if anyone wants to judge. We'll probably select 2 people from the audience, maybe, to come up and judge. We'll see your qualifications, and then, I mean, that could help out. We'll do an audience vote, and then, you know, if you have any other gifts after you've gifted the contestants and the judges, please gift me. All of us use the gifts for our channels, for our content, and it really could help. But I do understand that we live in a time where money is hard to come by, and like we're in a economic crisis. So we just appreciate you guys being here. You don't have to gift. We just appreciate you guys being here. And if you can, just tap your screens, share with everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. So with that, we can start our first debate, which is going to be Rookie versus Scholar. Let me set the background, and then we'll start the time sections. And we're starting 5 minutes early, and yeah, we can get straight into it. So let me see. I think I'm gonna go with this one. Wait, no, oh no, that's not it. Hold on. Classical theism is true. Okay, this is gonna be the first debate, and the affirmative is gonna go first with their 5-minute opener. So I think that's going to be, who's it going to be between you guys?
That would be me, sir.
That'd be you?
Yeah, that would be me, sir.
Okay. I'm going to set the timer, and then it'll start whenever you, I got it right here. And yeah, it'll start whenever you say your first word.
Okay, great. Hey everyone. Thank you for joining us today on this beautiful debate with my interlocutor known as Rookie.kg, who I highly respect. And thank you, Hatem, for being the judge who would step up in order to judge this beautiful linear debate. And thank you, host, for, you know, giving your time out of your day in order to, you know, host this beautiful event. And thank you for every viewer who, you know, wanted to take their time out of their beautiful day in order to, you know, watch this linear beautiful debate. I thank you all. Today, I'm going to, you know, be justifying the classical theist, you know, position on God's existence being true. What I'm going to be using to justify this is type B physicalism and psycho physical harmony. On my first debate on this, I'm going to be very excited. Let us begin though. Let's begin. Yeah. P1 is just going to be as follows. Let me pull up my arc, please. Thank you. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Holy shit. Let us get this out. Yeah. Okay. P1. If psychophysical harmony is grounded in divine explanation, then God exists. Right. Right. And then P2 will just be following from this. 1 second. Ooh. Hold on. Let me get this. Hold on. My bad. I pulled up the wrong arc. Let me go ahead and get this. My bad. 5, 4, 3, 2. Volume fried. My bad. I forgot. I've got my premise keys missing. Hold on. Yeah. P1. Necessarily if type B physicalism and psychophysical harmony are true, then psychophysical harmony requires an explanation. Then P2. Necessarily if psychophysical harmony requires a grounding explanation, then that explanation is rational ground, divine grounding. P3 is just going to be necessarily if divine grounding exists, then God exists. Okay. Then P4 is just going to be type B physicalism is true, granted to defend the argument that I've given. Then P5 is just going to be psychophysical harmony exists. P6, if the classical theist God exists, then God is necessarily a necessary being, right? Then conclusion 1 is just going to be God exists, and then P2 is just going to be God necessarily exists. And then this is just going to be, let's call it provided from P4 and P5, the proof sketch, and then this is just going to follow. I'm just going to give up the rest of my time as that's the arc. I'll be waiting for any counters.
Okay.
Claims
and with that,
after rebuttals. Okay.
Oh, okay. And with that, that's going to conclude Scholar's time. I'll stop the countdown, and then Rookie, you're going to have 5 minutes to do your opening statement, and that starts whenever you say your first word.
Okay, first I want to say thank you to COCO for hosting this debate, as well as the team for judging, and also Scholar for being here, as well as the people who are viewing this. So the proposition is classical theism is true, which I'm negating, and tonight I will demonstrate that the God of classical theism is a logical impossibility. My opponent carries a heavy burden. They must prove that the classical model, defined by divine simplicity, impossibility, immutability, atemporality, along with the triomny properties, is not only internally coherent, but true in every single aspect. If even one attribute leads to a contradiction, the system fails. My case focuses on the logical problem of evil. My argument is straightforward. A perfectly rational, omniscient, omnibenevolent being would never allow even 1 second of suffering that wasn't strictly necessary for a greater good. Any suffering that serves no necessary purpose is gratuitous. This creates a fatal dilemma for the classical theist. My argument goes as follows. P1. If God exists, he would prevent all gratuitous evils. P2. All gratuitous evils aren't prevented by God. Conclusion. Therefore, God doesn't exist. Modus tollens. So the definition of an idealized rational agent is a being possessing omniscience, maximal knowledge, and omnipotence, maximal power. That perfectly aligns its desires with objective normative reasons, acting flawlessly to achieve evaluated outcomes. This aligns with Aquinas' definition of rational agency. How he defines it is that the essential defining capacity of human beings, which is rational, is to understand, judge, and act according to reason, distinct from mere sentient instinct. If my opponent admits that gratuitous evils exist, then God is not perfectly wise, powerful, or all good as he has failed to prevent an evil he had no reason to allow. If my opponent denies that gratuitous evils exist, they fall into a deeper contradiction. They must argue that every horrific atrocity in history was a logical requirement for God's plan. This makes a supposedly holy God the rational author of evil. It forces us into a logical contradiction where God must rationally require the very same atrocity he morally condemns. A perfectly consistent being cannot hate what he requires nor condemn what he necessitates. Because God's will cannot be divided against itself, the classical model of God is logically impossible. I look forward to my opponent's response.
Okay. And with that, is that going to conclude your opening statement?
Yes.
Okay. So that's going to conclude the opening statements, and now we're going to move into the cross-examinations. So each person is going to get 12 minutes to do their cross-examination. During this time, if your opponent is speaking too much, you can say, I reclaim my time. And in doing that, we will pause the timer. We will calm down your opponent. And then we will resume whenever everything is like calmed down, if there's like a scuffle. So just keep that in mind. And with that, Scholar, you're going to get 12 minutes. And it starts whenever you say your first word.
Okay, let us begin. My interlocutor claims that God, if one of these contradictions in one of his, elements in the set leads to some sort of contradiction, that it would just seem to be the case that our God does not exist under the classical theist view. Now, what I have here is going to be an argument that is going to counteract the LPOE, or the logical problem of evil. If my opponent has any questions that would lead to some sort of interlocuting, I would love to answer them. But the premises are just going to go as follows, contradictory for the LPOE. If psychophysical harmony exists, then it's the best explanation for divine grounding. If the divine grounding is the best explanation, then God exists. If psychophysical harmony exists. P4, if evil exists, it arises from creaturely freedom and corruption of creation. If evil arises from creaturely freedom, then evil is logically compatible with God. Premise 6 is just going to be evil exists. Conclusion 1, God exists. And then C is just going to be following from P6, evil is logically compatible with God. Now, if you have any questions on how, grotesque evils wouldn't be within, God's nature, I'll just, use some sort of freedom of defense in order to counteract with these evils. As free will within the Bible and also theology has claimed that, because free will has occurred, then also, there's going to be some corruption of good through human nature. If this human nature corrupts that of good and deprives it, then there's obviously going to be some sort of evils. If these evils are within the nature of free good, then I would say that there's a conjunction between these two evidences. Well, no, these two natures. Without the one, there can be another. So I would just say, if the conditional is true, then, this would also be positive. I don't know if my interlocutor has any questions or wants any, justification for any of the premises. He may answer if he wants any.
Yeah, can you repeat the first two premises?
Yeah, I just said premise 1, if psychophysical harmony exists, then it's the best explanation for divine grounding. And then P2, if divine grounding is the best explanation, then God exists.
And what do you mean by divine grounding?
Yeah, I would just take standard semantics on this.
Well, I'm not aware of the semantics, so.
Oh, okay. Sure. So when we talk about, divine grounding, I just take it to be the case that, hold on, actually, let's just use this. Evil does not, logically contradict God. It just reflects the devotion.
Wow, I just asked for the
God's
definition
goodness.
of divine grounding. That's it.
You just want divine grounding. I just mean the properties in which God, enables to be true within his own entity. That's why I just
The
take
property God.
the psychophysical. Yeah, God, enables these things through psychophysical. Well, psychophysical harmony explains God's triune properties, including atemporal, and triune and all being. That's just what I mean by divine grounding.
So the premise 1 is, if psychophysical harmony exists, then God is the best explanation. That's all you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have an argument for that?
Do I have an argument for psychophysical harmony being true?
No, I mean,
what you're asking
that's true under type B physicalism. I'm just saying that, do you have an argument for the conditional?
And which conditional do you want, premise 1 or 2?
Premise 1. Yeah. Premise 1.
Okay, you want premise 1.
Yeah, the inference is the best explanation, the IB.
Yeah, sure.
And you don't...
psychophysical...
Sorry, go ahead, my fault.
Go ahead.
No, you don't only have to demonstrate theism is true, but also all the components of classical theism. So impassibility, mutability, atemporality, and also divine simplicity. And it has to follow as the explanatory resource for the data.
You want an argument for... Okay, so you want an argument for if the... the classical theist, supports these...
No, I'm saying that classical theism has to be the best explanation.
No, I just affirm that classical theism is true. I don't say that it's the best explanation for God exists.
Okay, but that's what the conditional is saying.
That's not what we're affirming here.
The conditional is saying if psychophysical harmony exists, then then classical theism is the best explanation. That's the conditional. When we press the semantics, you get to God.
I don't think you heard the arg. I never said that classical theism was the best explanation. I simply said, in the premise 1, if psychophysical harmony, then it's the best explanation for divine grounding.
Yeah, and you define divine grounding as what is entailed from God existing. And we already defined God in the onset as
just the properties that are entailed within.
Yeah, and so that'd be what classical theism is if we define God as a classical theistic model. Is he here?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm right here.
Yeah, so that's what I want. I want an argument for that conditional.
Yeah, so we could just say that, let's start off with premise one. We can just move down. Let's begin. There's no truth assessment. There exists that we're all premises are true and the conclusions are false, which is exactly for the condition for the logical validity on the propositional logic for this table. Psychophysical harmony, I'm just referring to like standard cement. Yeah, I'm just referring to the standard semantics. This is
My
entailed.
fault. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just referring to like physical actions.
Wait, psychophysical harmony is physical actions?
No, it's just discussing between physical mind and body requiring explanatory ground. So just like systematic coordination or the grounding of attributed divine rational ordering.
Okay, and so when you say the connection between mind and body, do you mean phenomenological
And then we would just say God
states?
is the logos in order and creation.
Wait, I'm aware with what God is. I'm asking for the definition of psychophysical harmony and also the argument for the conditional, given that we get clear on the semantics. So psychophysical harmony to you is the connection between the mind and body, right?
Yeah, it refers to the structured correlation between mental intentions and that of physical actions.
Mental intentions. Okay, so
And that of physical
so
actions.
this isn't also on like the semantical thesis as well as like the value thesis, saying that pain aligns with value, such as things that are bad. You don't affirm that thesis. You only affirm the intentions being in line with what we want to occur. That's it. Because there's three components of psychophysical harmony.
Yeah.
So only that one. Okay, so do you have an argument for
aware.
that version, that specific subset of psychophysical harmony being best explained by classical theism?
Sure. When we talk about psychophysical harmony and we talk about the tension between that of the structured correlation and the mind intentions, I take it to be the case that like evil is not a created substance and is just privation of corruption of good that is intended. If free will is intended between like, God and that of the entity which created, which I just take like humans to be the person he created within an image, and he gave us free will. This property also carries some sort of goodness that he gave us, right? This would just be a good priority like to like God giving us this ability to be able to have free will. Also gives us to be the case that like we could corrupt this good in which God gave us. If it's taken to be the case that God did give us the ability to corrupt this corrupt this good that he gave us, then I would say that it's in natural and human nature. If it's natural and human nature, then I would say that God shouldn't have to fix this evil. If he did fix this evil, he ought to take away free will from us, which I just don't take it to be moral and against his will as a creator.
Okay, so all right, so what you just said is an objection to my argument, right? Given that there's a free will defense, right? But I'm asking for the argument for the first condition you gave in your counter argument for the LPOE, right? But like that's fine. If you want to like go away
the
from that
psychophysical
premise.
harmony would just the psychophysical harmony would just follow from like
No, but I asked for the argument for the conditional. That psychophysical harmony is best explained by classical theism. But then you went on to talk about the free will defense. I'm asking for that specific conditional. I can deal with the free will defense later, but I want an argument for the conditional you said is true, which is P1, which is psychophysical harmony is best explained by classical theism. Also, I can hear you typing, though.
No, my bad. I'm actually like getting my other args out from my Google Doc. I can turn on my camera if you want.
No, that's fine, bro. It's fine. But like, I can deal with the free will defense after we get clear on this conditional and the argument for it. Take your time.
Sure. I would just take it to be the case that psychophysical harmony would be like the best explanation. Under the theistic view.
Wait, psychophysical harmony is the best explanation?
No, psychophysical harmony is one of the best explanations under the theistic view for explaining how God, rationalizes us as beings.
Wait, so maybe you're just misspeaking, but you wouldn't say psychophysical harmony is the best explanation. It's the data that's being explained.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm asking why classical theism best explains that data.
And it's the best explanation for the divine grounding.
Wait, but what's the argument for that? That's just restating the claim.
Yeah, I gave you the correlation between that of us humans, right? Having the intention and will, right, that God gave us, right? I said that psychophysical harmony under the, psychophysical harmony, responding to the logical problem of evil, right? I said that if, right, God gave us these free wills in which, have correlation between that of the intent and the will given from the body, right? I said God gave us free will, therefore these things and actions follow from goodness, right? Goodness is, obviously just going to be some sort of proprietary.
Wait, I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry. But like you aren't I can just excuse this, right? You aren't answering you aren't giving the argument for the conditional or that is best explained by classical theism. You're giving the free will defense of the OPOE, like Platinga's free will defense. It isn't even Platinga's, I think, but you're just saying free will requires evils to be done. Obviously, that's not true. There's no contradiction in there being free will and there being no evils. But I'm asking for the argument for the conditional that if psychophysical harmony exists, then classical theism is the best explanation. Focus on that. That's the only premise I want you to respond to.
Okay. So we already understand the semantics under classical theism. Well, no, not classical theism. Psychophysical harmony. In intentions reliable, producing bodily movements, pain experience, obviously. I guess you want the systematic correlation between that of the
I just want the any type of probability theory.
Yeah. So we obviously know that God is a rational ground of reality, the source of intelligibility, the creator of both mind and matter, right? So under psychological harmony, it's expected, right, rather than like accidental. And under type B physicalism, mental states are identical to brain states. So our evaluation, I guess, of like these behaviors would not necessarily be true introspective to under the beliefs. So like under pure physicalism, I guess it would be possible. Organisms behave as consciousness, but their beliefs maybe about consciousness are systemically wrong. But we observe between the like harmonies that there's obviously going to be like experiences, beliefs, and on those experiences, there's going to be physical processes. So under the classical theist belief, we're expected from divine rational design, and then the type B physicalist would just identify the relation assumed, but to be unexplained, right? When several theories can be like explain the same phenomenon with a theory with a greater explanatory power, it's just going to be coherent in reference to God. It would be more parsimonious. I posit less entities, and we result in the same, I guess, conclusion. I don't really know what else to say to you about that.
All right, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so, do you have an argument against like evolution being something that can explain this data under naturalism?
I have a what?
Evolution being able to explain this data just as well without pausing this entity.
Yeah, do you think evolution? Yeah, sure. I guess I would take it to be the case that if do I stop talking now, or
you can finish your last sentence, and then we'll go on to the next one.
I mean, he asked me, how does naturalism explain? He asked me to explain how does naturalism explain this evolution? Evolution would just be, under the naturalist view, which just takes some sort of like genealogy and phenotypes to be, passed down from generation to generation after generation, offspring to offspring. If, these certain traits that are needed to survive, I guess, under, evolution, need to be passed down in order to, continue their lifeline. If this lifeline, would concur, then, there would be resulting in some sort of new form of life from genealogy. I guess that would be the best way to explain how the biological process of, pain, or like, thalamocortical system. Well, in this case, physical states to mental states would work.
Okay,
would just be like gene states being passed down from one entity to another.
Okay, and with that, that's going to conclude Scholar's cross-examination. So now, Rookie, it's going to be your cross-examination. You get 12 minutes on the clock, and it starts when you say your first word.
Okay, so I already gave you the argument, but I'll give it again. P1, if God exists, he would prevent all gratuitous evils. P2, all gratuitous evils aren't prevented by God. Conclusion, therefore God doesn't exist. Modus tollens. Do you want any premise to be justified?
Yeah, can we start off with premise 1?
Yeah, sure, okay. P1, if a perfectly rational agent is always opposed to X in favor of Y and has no conflicting desires consistent with X, then the agent will take measures to prevent X when able. This is analytically true of a rational agent. Do you want me to say the whole thing and then ask you? Actually, I'll just say the whole thing. P2, God is perfectly rational, always opposes gratuitous evil in favor of the good, and has no conflicting desires consistent with the gratuitous evil. Conclusion 1, modus ponens, therefore God will take measures to prevent gratuitous evil when able. P3, if an agent is omnipotent and would take measures to prevent gratuitous evil when able, the agent always takes measures to prevent gratuitous evil. P4, God is omnipotent and would take measures to prevent gratuitous evil when able. Conclusion 2, modus ponens, therefore God always takes measures to prevent gratuitous evil. P5, if an agent is omnipotent, their measures to prevent gratuitous evil cannot fail. P6, God is omnipotent. Conclusion 3, modus ponens, therefore God would always prevent gratuitous evil.
That's it. Yeah, sure. Are you assuming in P1 that evil is a created substance?
No, you can reword the semantics to take to be a privation. You can just say God's opposed to the privation of good, which is analytically true of his essence. It's just rewording,
Yeah,
rewording
sure.
the problem. It isn't actually giving a providential relocation of the problem.
Do you think that humans within nature have the ability to corrupt good?
Wait, but that isn't like denying a premise. That touches on gratuitous evil existing or not. That isn't relevant
Yeah.
to the premise one.
Yeah, sure. I think gratuitous evils do exist, but I think that if we were to take away these gratuitous evils, then I think that would also be taking away freedom.
Okay, so
and
you
other
do
stuff. I think they have a conjunction.
So you do sign off on premise 2 that all gratuitous evils aren't prevented by God. Okay, so premise 1 is all we need to defend. Okay, you're saying that free will would justify every action of a gratuitous evil. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, sure. Most actions, yeah, I would agree.
No, not most. Every single one. We just got clear that every gratuitous evil must be prevented by God.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. So
I'll agree to your
okay,
statement.
so it is logically necessary for evil to exist in order for free will to exist. So there's a contradiction in free will existing and the conjunction of free will and evil. There's a contradiction in free will being conjoined with evil. So what's the contradiction? P and not P.
Yeah, freedom. Well, not grotesque evils can exist without freedom. Grotesque evils can't exist. Well, can't exist without freedom.
Okay, well that's the question, Beck. You said grotesque evils can't exist without free will. That's the proposition. I mean, that's the what you're trying to find out. The contradiction you're trying to find out. You're saying that's the not P, but that's literally what you're trying to find out.
I just take it to be the case that like grotesque evils, right? The corruption of goodness, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm asking you. I asked you before, like, do you think that these things can be like committed without free will? And then, like you said, that has nothing to do with it.
Before I said that's not relevant at all because it wasn't. We were talking about psychophysical harmony. We weren't talking about defenses of the LPOE. We were on that proposition, the conditional that you could claim to be true. But now I'm asking, what's the contradiction in free will being true? I mean, free will existing as well as evil existing. What's the P and not P derived from that?
Yeah. Let's see. Contradiction. Probably be evil. No, God. Oh, God should prevent all grotesque evils. God shouldn't protect. Stop all grotesque evils.
Wait, can you reformulate it again?
Yeah, God should stop all grotesque evils, and then God shouldn't stop or prevent all grotesque evils.
Okay, and can you derive that?
Yeah, sure. I just like if grotesque evils exist, right? And then God also gave us the ability to formulate and have free will. I just take it to be like, I just should follow that God also, allows grotesque evils to exist because he gave us free will and he gave us the option to, search for salvation within him. And if he gave us the ability to use free will, right, in order to seek salvation for him, I don't think that we should obviously allow for, these grotesque evils to stop, because if he'd stopped these grotesque evils, then he would also have to stop us from having free will.
No, but okay. Well, he wouldn't have to prevent anything, actually. Okay, so if you agree that our choices are contingent, there's a world in which we always choose good and in which we still have free will. Libertarian free will, to be exact. So that doesn't follow. It's conceivable that we have free choices.
Wait, what? Hold on. Why do you think that if we had free will, that we would only choose good choices?
No, I said it's possible. You said there's a contradiction. Remember, you have to find a contradiction in the conjunction. I have to demonstrate that it's possible. And it is possible because, first off, you can have a libertarian free world in which there's a contingent actions that are only good. I'm not saying that is the case. I'm saying that it's possible. If it's possible, then God would choose that world. And he would prevent the world in which there is evils. Given free will is the condition. But you asked me for why it is the case. I just need to demonstrate that it's possible. And I'm doing that by asking you, what's the contradiction? You said it's that God should and shouldn't prevent evils. And I asked for the derivation, and you haven't given that yet. You actually started the derivation by saying, if gratuitous evils don't exist, which isn't what we're trying to talk about, you're supposed to assume that my view that gratuitous evils exist with free will not existing.
Yeah. I'm saying if grotesque evils do exist, right, then free will obviously does exist. And then if grotesque evils don't exist, then free will doesn't exist.
If grotesque evils exist, then free will exists?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're not assuming my position to give the contradiction. You're supposed to assume that free will exists and evils don't exist, and derive the contradiction. But you're making a whole new premise. So what's the contradiction in that being true?
That being true, that if free will exists, then grotesque evils all.
No, what's the contradiction in free will existing
you think that
and
God
there
should
be no evil?
Yeah, I don't think that if free will exists, I don't think that we would be all good as us as humans. We're created
Okay,
in God's
is
image, and
it
I don't think it would
possible?
be. Is it possible? No, as us humans being under this like view of you just taking good deeds being true, also free will being true. No, I don't think it's possible.
Okay, and so that's logical possibility, correct?
Yeah, logical. Yeah, the three laws of
Okay,
logic. I just
it
don't.
is not logically possible. So what's the contradiction? The P and not P.
Yeah, law of identity. Yeah, the
No,
law of identity.
what's the P and not P? What's
I
the
don't think.
content?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, humans. Okay, I guess. Yeah, humans will not commit to. Will commit to all good actions. Humans can't commit. Well, will not commit to all good
Wait,
actions.
hold up, hold up.
I don't
Hold
think
up. I
it.
just want to flag. This is a different P and not P than you gave beforehand. You gave two
Yeah, I
different
don't
P and
think
not
us. I
Ps.
don't think us as humans created under like God's image can't commit, to all good actions all the time.
No,
I don't
but
think
you
that's
gave a
possible.
different contradiction. So which one is true, under your view?
Yeah, I would just take the second one. I guess I'll just say I revise.
Okay, and can you? So okay, you have to sure. Ad hoc. But what's the P and not P again? So I can like write this down so you don't give a third one.
Yeah, I said humans, right? Can't commit to grotesque evils. Humans can commit to grotesque evils.
So I mean, just by commit, you just mean do, right? Can't do
You
evil
said
and
what?
can. Okay, and so why can humans not do evil in this case?
Why can't? Yeah, under your reduct, you said that there would be some sort of possible world in which libertarian good would be like true,
Libertarian good,
and then you said that they would. Well, libertarian is I
libertarian free
guess
will.
under your view. I don't know if I'm like and we could just commit to all good actions, and God should choose this world.
Mm-hmm.
And then under the like classical theist view, God gave us free will, right? And then we also were born with the free will,
Yeah,
born
yeah.
sin, right? We were all born
That
with
isn't
sin.
under
Yeah, and
contention.
then this is just gonna be, yeah, of course.
That isn't
What
under
I'm saying
contention.
is, if we were born, yeah, if we're born with sin, right? I just don't think that we can commit to all good actions all the time,
Oh wait,
or even
okay.
sometimes. I don't.
Wait, so you're
Well,
saying we're born
maybe
with
some.
this sinful nature?
Yeah,
We're created with a sinful nature. And that's true of God.
we're created with sin, not a sin. Yeah,
Okay,
He
and does
created
that
us
does that
with.
explain
Well,
does that
He
explain every
bestowed us down
gratuitous
with the
evil?
sin. Every gratuitous evil.
Does it explain every gratuitous evil?
I mean, we can commit to every gratuitous evil, but I don't. But I guess yeah, sin would
Okay,
explain
let's say
this
there's an
to
evil
be
nature.
true.
This is actually
That
pretty
we could commit
identical
to every.
to Platinga's free will defense, which says that to be transworld depravity, that every creature suffers from transworld depravity. So there's at least one evil action that's committed of every truly free agent. And so the issue is the quantification. This doesn't explain every case of gratuitous evil. It just explains why there's at least one for every agent. You aren't even running Platinga's defense, but this is pretty identical to it. I don't know if you know about it, but it doesn't explain every type of gratuitous evil that exists, right? So you have to
Yeah,
explain
what type of gratuitous?
what?
I was a clarifying question.
Yeah, sure.
When you say for the quantifications for every gratuitous evil,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you said that there would only be one for every agent. How do we even get to that possibility being true?
What do you mean possibility? It's just what the defense you're giving is.
No, what I'm saying is why would there only what I'm saying is why would only one be counted, right? And that we couldn't commit to every grotesque evil possible.
Okay, and so what it means to
Us
be
as
wait, hold
humans,
up, hold up.
by the
But
way.
then that wouldn't be free will. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, that
I'm just
wouldn't.
wondering
That,
if you stopped in the mid
no, no,
sentence.
no. I'm saying that wouldn't be free will. It's like trivial. You're saying that to be
What would?
what it means to be free will is to always commit evil actions, so that every gratuitous evil is explained. That isn't free will. If it means that you couldn't have done otherwise.
No, I think we can commit to almost every gratuitous evil out there that we have created as humans, and God has put us down for sin, right? I do think that these are like plausible things that like, can happen. But you're saying that we're accounted for at least one sin, one sinful action or one gratuitous evil. I'm asking what is the quantification for that of one, at
That's
least.
just what Platinga's free will defense is. I tried to give you like a helping hand, tell you what that is, because that's what you're trying to run, I think. But if you're just saying that what it means to be free is to commit gratuitous evil, then that isn't what it means to be free.
Yeah, no. I just think that it's plausible that we can commit to gratuitous evils, and if we can't commit to these things, then I don't think that we have free will. If we can
Wait,
only
so
commit good actions, I don't think we have free will.
wait, but you're saying that this free will is a necessary is explaining the data, which is the gratuitous evil, right? But you're saying
I think free will.
hold up, but you're saying that this connectivity is necessary. So what's the contradiction of free will existing and there being no evil? That's what we asked in the onset. But now you're saying that it's possible that evil exists given free will, but that's directly question begging. Because if we're aware of what premise one states, God would remove every action, every evil action necessarily. So there has to be some other necessary
Wait, why?
condition.
Wait, what?
Hmm?
Wait. You said God would remove every evil action possible, but He bestowed us
Every
with the first
gratuitous
sin. What are we
evil.
talking about? Yeah, every gratuitous evil would be committed, right? And then if these things are true, right? If we could only commit good actions, that wouldn't be free will. That's just analytically true, right?
Yeah, no,
Of free will.
what? No, it doesn't mean
Yeah, it's true of free
no,
will that we can
no.
commit
But
every.
it isn't saying that we can only. It doesn't say that it's possible that we only do this. It's saying that it's possible we could do anything, but we choose to do this, given that there was a contingent. We're not saying the only possible world in which you actually enact is one that which you only choose good. It's say there's a range of possible worlds, but you always choose good, given the worlds are contingent. There's a possible world we could pick out that's accessible from this world, in which you
Yeah,
always choose good,
Wait, hold on. I don't.
and where free will is
Ricky,
still
Ricky, I'm
intact.
sorry to cut you off.
Because what it
Yeah,
means to be,
yeah, I
what it
think
means to be
free.
free
Yeah, I
isn't
think.
to have to an action.
Yeah, I think. Right. I think it's possible, right, in some world that we could choose all good and all good actions while having, some sort of choice to choose
Finish
bad
that last
actions. I think that's
sentence.
possible and totally,
What?
Go
That's a
ahead.
concession. You just said it's possible we can choose to do only good.
Okay, we
Yeah,
have to
obviously,
stop
I'm
it right
not
there.
but that's not the
We have to
argument
stop
here.
it. Okay, guys, we have
The
we
argument
have
is
to
just
stop
free
it right.
will exists.
All right, guys, we have to stop it right there.
What?
Now we're going into the second round of cross-examination. So, Scholar, you're going to get 12 minutes, and then Rookie will go after you, and then we'll go to the closing statements. So your timer is going to start whenever you say your first word.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if I just have some couple of questions. Like Rookie, do you think that under the theistic view, the classical theist view, also holds free will to be true? Do you think that I think that we have to commit grotesque evils in order to have free will? I just think we have to have the option to, by the way.
Yeah,
We
that's
have to
what I
be
agreed upon, and that's why the free will defense doesn't work. That's the exact reason why it doesn't work. Which is why at the end you said we could have a choice and still only commit good actions.
yeah, under the plot. Yeah, what I thought you were positing here was if there's a world where we cannot, even have the choice to be able to commit to, grotesque evils, then I think that would just be false.
No, but
I don't
okay, but
think
that's
in
why I said
any
the
other
conjunction is
world
free
under the
will
theistic.
and
Yeah,
there
but
be no evil. Because free
yeah,
will
that's
and
what I was
those biggest
arguing for.
things.
That's the conjunct. Yeah, but Rookie, but my argument was saying that we should be able to posit all actions bestowed on us by God, given our properties, and created in His image. And if we cannot posit these things, then there wouldn't be any free will.
No, wait, okay, wait, then that just places a necessary requirement on free will, which is analytically not true. To say that there has to be a necessary condition of free will. There has to be choice X, given you have X and Y as choices. That's why it wouldn't be free will. But I'm saying that
Yeah,
you could choose any action,
yeah.
and there's a possible world in which we always choose good, which you agreed upon, right? And that's all that's required for the LPOE to go through, if you commit to there being gratuitous evils.
Under this view, right, where you say that gratuitous evils exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would posit, right,
Which you admitted at the onset.
obviously,
Which you said do exist on the onset.
right, yeah, freedom I think freedom is essential for personhood. Also, I think evil is not a created substance, and then evil results from the misuse of freedom and cosmic fallenness. Evil does not logically contradict God existing, which was the argument, right? Classical theism is true, which is just God existing, right? So I could just bite the bullet here, say even if grotesque evils do exist, right, that God would still exist, and it wouldn't contradict His nature in any way, shape, or form, which you agreed to earlier, which is the substitute, which is the the thing that we're debating right now. So even if there were to grotesque evils, what's gonna
When did
we
I
not
agree
see,
to that being true? What?
Wait, hold on. Did you say wait, hold on, Ricky? Did you or did you not say that grotesque evils do exist in the onset? Yes or no?
Yeah, they do. That's the
Did
premise,
you?
dog.
Yeah, okay. And then what we're debating right now is classical theism true, which
No, what we're
I
debating
gave
right
such
now is if the conjunction of free will and no evils outputs is false under every evaluation. That's all we're doing right now.
Yeah, I'm asking you about the proposition that we're following. The classical theism is true. I'm just
Obviously, that's the debate
affirming
topic,
that
bro.
God exists, and you're running the LPOE.
Yeah, bro, I'm
Yeah,
aware of that.
obviously.
That's
So
my
I could buy.
summary.
So yeah, okay, yeah, nice, dude. So what's going on here is right. I could bite the bullet here and just say that grotesque evils do exist, right, in the substrate, and that it would still not logically contradict God's existence being true, would it?
Okay,
Where's the
oh my gosh.
no?
Wait, but you're not biting a bullet.
Where's
You're not biting a
where's the
bullet because
proof
you're
of it?
just saying no. You're just saying no to the argument. You're just saying it is possible. But I gave you
Yeah,
arguments
I
for
just
why it
okay,
isn't.
yeah. Hold on. Did you not hear the reductive? I said evil is not a created substance; it's a provision of the corruption of good. Freedom is essential to personhood. Humans were created with the capability of communion with God. Evil results from the misuse of freedom and cosmic fallenness. Evil does not logically contradict God. It reflects the creaturely liberation from divine goodness, not divine contradiction. Right?
Okay. So
So
do you say, wait? So you're saying that it's messed up with the theodicy of free will. So do you? I just want a yes or no. Is there a contradiction with free will existing, there being no evil?
is there with evil existing
What? No evil
and
existing,
there
there
being
being
no
free will. No evil existing, there being free will.
No evil existing and there being free will within humans? No, I think there's a contradiction there.
Okay.
Where free will does exist
Okay.
and there's no evil.
Okay. In heaven, is there free will? Yes or no?
In heaven, is there free will?
Yes or no? Yes.
We're under communion with God.
Wait. Is there free will in heaven? Yes or no?
I would say probably not. Or else
There
we're not
isn't
humans
free will
anymore.
in heaven, and that follows from the classical theistic model. Do you say yes? Bossman, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm just thinking.
Take your time.
Under communion with God, you know, I'd say there's no free will. I would probably say that in the heaven there's no free will, as we're falling under communion with God and we're having eternal salvation.
Okay, and wait, hold up. And so what it means to be in communion with God is to not have free will.
No, I don't know. I don't think that's what it means. I just think in heaven we're under communion with God.
Okay, and so what follows from that is that you don't have free will.
Yeah, we're praising our Lord and Savior,
But you
Jesus
don't
Christ.
have free will. You aren't choosing to
And-
do so.
Oh no, we chose to
What?
have the ability to go to heaven, right?
No, but that's not what's asked.
And as a result,
Bro. No, wait. Not only is this like directly against the consensus by Aquinas, by Augustine, every single classical theist that's like a major proponent. It also doesn't make sense to say that in the best possible state of affairs, which is heaven, there would not be the theodicy which requires the LPOE to be false. That's like an incoherent statement on your point. You're saying that.
hold on. Wait, Rookie, can you show the consensus?
You said show the consensus.
Yeah, can you show the consensus?
Yeah,
sir?
Aquinas directly says that what it means to be rational is to have choice. Humans are rational. They don't lose their rationality in heaven. So it's just entailed that they have rationality in heaven.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so
I can-
that's obviously the consensus, right? Aquinas is the consensus. Aquinas is like the father of classical theism.
Hold on. Do you take rationale to be some sort of consciousnly?
What? I already
Like,
defined
do you think
rationality.
if we have conscious, if we have rationality, we're obviously conscious.
What do you mean by conscious here?
Yeah, just like mental states, like having subjective experiences within reality.
And what do you mean by
Some
mental
reality
states?
or some positive world. Yeah, I'm just gonna refer to like thalamocortical systems.
I have no idea what that is, dog.
Wait, can you repeat that actually? You said before I just mentioned thalamocortical systems, you said you want to know what a consciousness
I know.
is.
I asked what mental
Right.
states were. That's a blunder. I asked for mental state definition, and then you said that random word.
Yeah, the thalamocortical system just refers to, that of, the system in which induces us to have, subjective experiences in some sort of positive reality. Like, it
Is
allows
this
us
like a
to,
biological
have the
term?
teleos. Is this a biological term? Yeah, it's in all humans.
Okay, so it's like a literal physical part of the brain.
Well, it's not just in all humans, it's also in, like, most animals.
Okay, and so
But yeah.
that's what it means to have mental states. So answer this: is it possible that someone has that and doesn't have mental states? Yes or no?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I think these things just allow these things to exist. I don't think that,
What?
if, right, entity X has
Bro.
has Y, then Z would be positive. I don't.
No, but you just said whatever that word is, that biological term. That's
Yeah,
that's what a mental state is.
The thalamocortical system is what produces mental states.
I asked for the
Right, and
definition. I didn't ask for what produces the term. I asked for the reduction of the term. And then you said it's that system, right? And so I asked, is it possible someone has that system but doesn't have mental states? You said yes.
No,
There's a
I said it
disconnect between
produces
the
from this
term.
system, not that it what you call it, can't come. Well, that someone can have this system and it doesn't come from it. I'm not saying that if this thing exists, then this wouldn't.
Yeah, but wait, but
Like, I don't know if I
you
grab-
just said that what it means to have mental states is to also have this system. But there's a disconnect in which you have the system and also still have mental states.
Yeah, you can have it. Oh my God, yeah. Okay,
So what does it
simply,
mean to have
Ricky.
mental
What I'm saying,
states in that example?
yeah, I'm just saying that the thalamocortical system would be, entwined to like, some sort of linear development of the teleos, and then like,
Yeah, I'll be
conjunctive
real. You're
experiences
kind of
would
yapping
follow
because
after, this teleos is.
yeah, I'll be real. Like this kind of like a lot of jargon. So I'm trying to get back to the actual substance. So you were trying to press me on my definition of rationality that Aquinas gives, which is like
No, I just asked you. I just asked you like what's gonna be like, the definition. I didn't really press you on it. I just asked you for your semantics.
yeah, I already defined that like 3 times
Yeah,
now.
would you like to? Yeah, I get.
Because you
Okay.
pressed me on saying that. Wait, I'm gonna track back. You pressed me on saying that there has to be free will in
Yeah,
heaven,
but like
right?
I'm
You said that
asking.
no, there isn't free will in heaven, which is obviously like very unintuitive based on what classical theism affirms. The proponents of classical theism.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Also,
Rookie. What I'm
I just want to make
asking
this
you,
clear.
right?
I
This
just want to make this
doesn't really
clear. Hold on,
disprove.
hold on, hold on, hold on. I was make this clear. You're supposed to be taking this time to demonstrate that classical theism is true. While you're asking me about the LPOE, we haven't once heard any justification for any of the premises in your psychophysical harmony argument. Once,
Wait,
not
hold on.
once.
Wait, I didn't
And
give
it's almost
the.
you didn't give
Hold
an
on.
argument for any of the premises that you had in your psychophysical harmony argument.
You
I
only
asked
asked
for
me for
I asked for the inference of
premise
best
one and premise two.
explanation.
Did you not?
What?
Hold on. You only asked me for justification of P1 and P2, sir.
Yeah, and you never gave that. I asked for why is the inference the best explanation, and you just kept rambling about the free will defense.
Yeah, and then no, I was just talking about how how psychophysical harmony is expected under type B physicalism, and I would be like,
Bro,
how
you,
psychophysical harmony would be best explained under type B physicalism,
do
and
you
how
hear
it would be
yourself?
like,
You just said if psychophysical harmony is best expected under type B physicalism. Where's classical theism in that sentence, dog?
and then how would it be explained? Yeah, and then I said, and wait, hold on, Rookie, and then I gave it how it would have more parsimony than your view. What?
Yo, do you think the only like theoretical virtue we look at is parsimony? Let's say I
Obviously
grant.
not.
Wait,
But
let's
this
say
is
I
the
grant
hold
it's more
on.
parsimonious. You still haven't gotten to classical theism being true. Not only theism being true, but every proponent of classical theism, all four as well as the omni properties. Like the burden you have is immense. Every single property of
Yeah,
classical theism has to add explanatory resource: immutability, passability, divine simplicity, and atemporality. Where's that? You agreed on that being the case as well before.
yeah,
And your class
obviously.
exam is
I
about to be
told you I'm
over.
running. Wait, hold on, hold on. Wait, hold on, Rookie. It seemed to be the case that like you were like, you didn't give me any beforehand. I asked you, are you running the LPOE against classical theism? You affirmed this being true. So I'm running a defense against the LPOE being true to defend classical theism being true. I don't really need to explain the proponents if we're doing an internal critique of the view.
Okay, if you're taking the affirmative and you haven't given a successful argument for
And
the
this doesn't
affirmative.
even and this doesn't even like this hold on, and this doesn't even hold on. I would like to finish like this doesn't even like
Bro.
like disprove that classical theism is true. You're just saying that grotesque evils exist. And like, this would still be like, compatible with God's existence. So it doesn't really disprove
Yeah, but you're
anything. It's
saying
just
that
more like
you're saying that's
it's more
true
like a
after you failed to give a
circle.
contradiction as well as admitted that there isn't free will in heaven.
It's kind of going like a blade right now.
You also said, you literally said you can still have a world in which there's only good, but still choose. That's a concession on the point that you're trying to defend this whole time.
Yeah, you can have hold on, Rookie. The point that I'm trying to defend is that we have free choices, right? We have choices to do actions that are
Finish your
committed
last
within our
sentence.
own nature. That was my last sentence, sir. I
All
was
right.
waiting for a response, but go ahead, bro.
We have to cut it there. Rookie, you're going to get 12 minutes to do your cross-examination, and then we're going to move on to closing statements. It starts whenever you say your first word.
All right, okay. Yeah, so, I mean, the problem we have now, right, is that we haven't even gotten to coherence on all the proponents of classical theism being attacked, such as divine simplicity, which is incredibly incoherent, impossibility, immutability, as well as atemporality. We haven't gotten clear on that. An argument that sustains that to be true, just that, like I could genuinely grant psychophysical harmony to be best explained by theism and still not have my opponent be successful. So right now, all we need is a contradiction and free will and no evils existing, unless he wants to reclaim that. I mean, take that statement back. So either give it or say there is the possibility of free will and there be no evil.
Can you repeat that for me real quick? My bad. I was
No, it's fine.
talking
It's
my
fine.
little sister.
Yeah. So we just need to get a contradiction and there being free will and no evils existing, or you can retract that statement and say that there isn't that the Odyssey doesn't successfully repair the problem of evil.
That the Odyssey doesn't explain the problem of evil?
That the Odyssey. It's
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, sure. Sure. I can like say that classical theism, like just explains the problem of evil. I guess I would like say, you mind if I give the arg?
No, I'm
Or
sorry. I just asked for, do you think there's a contradiction? If there isn't, do you retract the statement?
yeah, if there's a contradiction between that of evils existing and then that of God,
No, 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 no,
classical
no.
theism literature.
No, no, no. A contradiction in there being free will and no evils. Do you still affirm there's a contradiction, or do you retract that claim, given you said there isn't
I think
a
evils
contradiction and
have
there
to.
is?
I
Yeah, I
think
said
evils
both.
have
Hmm?
to. I think evils have to exist in order. Well, some form of evils that are not substance have to exist in order for free will to exist. We have to have the option to be able to commit these actions,
Wait, wait,
or
wait.
even
Hold on,
like
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
possess the valences to want to commit these
Do you
actions.
think? Wait, hold up. First of all, I just want to ask you questions. Do
I
you
think that
think?
follows through sin.
Wait,
Very
hold up. Do you think it follows that if you have the option, therefore that option must be instantiated by the agent? Yes or no?
No, I think we should simply just have the option. I don't
Okay,
think
and
that we
so
need to instantiate this option. If
from
the
that
option
definition
doesn't even
of free
exist to
will,
begin with,
okay, how would that
yeah, I
definition of
just
free will then entail that there's a contradiction? Because you literally just said it's the option, not the instantiation. So I can have the options to do evil and still only do good. That's possible.
yeah, okay. So what I meant in the statement was that in my substantiation of free will, I just think that we should be able to commit all like actions that are like presented to us, or be able to instantiate these options if we choose to do so, right? If we don't have the choice to instantiate this option, if it is presented to us, then I don't think that's free will,
Yeah, but I'm
right?
saying
So
that there
you
is
give
the
us,
option. That's what it means to be free.
yeah, I think if there's the option and we are allowed to choose this option, but choose a different one, then I think that's perfectly aligned with free will.
Okay, and so what is then explaining the gratuitous evils that don't contradict God existing? Given that we're clear that free will doesn't do that job.
Wait, given that, okay, you think that
You've already
just
admitted
to
it doesn't, so
clear
you have to go to like
some
soul making, something like that, dog. Soul building, something like that. Because we're already clear that free will doesn't. Like you've said it twice
soul
now.
building, something like, what do you refer?
Yeah, soul building, like it's necessary for greater good, such as like virtues, courage, fear. Courage requires fear analytically, things like that. This is like
Yeah,
if you like
no, I think
if you
I
like prompt up GPT and put in the LPOE, they'll give you these responses, dog. Like this is like pretty like surface level.
no, I think that what you call it, right? So when we talk about free will, what you're saying is that free will doesn't like fulfill this need, even though I've
No,
already stated that.
no, but okay, what is required, right? Given that we already established that God would prevent all evils, is there has to be some type of like greater good or some type of I mean, sure, not a theodicy, but I'm gonna use the word theodicy that explains why there are gratuitous evil necessarily. It has to be logically necessary that these evils exist for the
Yeah,
greater good.
so
And so the
yeah,
greater good, hold up, the greater good would be free will in your case, right? But you already demonstrated that there is no logical requirement for there to be free will, for there to be free will in order for evils to be explained. You said that there could be a world in which we always choose good and always still have a choice, and so free will wouldn't be logically necessary for the evil. So there has to be some
wait,
different
hold
type
on,
of greater
wait, free
good.
will would still be logically necessary for the evil. Hold on, the evil would just be the option in which we didn't instantiate in reality. What? If we
No,
committed, if we
bro.
were, if as long as we have the ability to instantiate the act, we have genuine free will in that world. The
Okay,
fact that we choose actions, this just went through. Like
okay.
what?
If you say that it's logically necessary that there are evils to be like true, right? There has to be a contradiction in the opposing is true, right? That's just the law of logic. And so you would then have to turn that there's a contradiction with free will existing and there be no evil. But you already said 3 times now that there is no contradiction with having the option to do otherwise and always committing good actions. You've already said that. So that can't be
No,
true.
oh my, yeah. As I said, as long as we have the ability to, and did you not hear like the conditional? I said if we have the ability to instantiate the evil option, but choose the good instead, that would still be free will
Okay,
under
and
my
so
view. Now, if
is
we
there a
only
possible world?
commit good actions, if only in this modality, you just mean that we can only instantiate this option. We only think about this option, and there's no other decision but this one. Then that wouldn't be what you call it, free will. That would just be
But
deprivation.
I've already wait. First off, I've already explained this like 4 times. That it isn't to say you can only choose this. That isn't what it means to be libertarianly free. I'm saying that there's the option to otherwise, but you always choose X. If our wills are contingent, then that's trivially true. Like there is a world in which we always choose X, giving us the option to do Y.
How will this contradict free will?
It, that's what I'm asking as well. You're agreeing with me. It doesn't.
Oh my God! I'm saying that it doesn't contradict free will as long as we have the ability to instantiate. Why are we going in circles?
Okay, and so
Now you're asking me for a contradiction in this
my
world. There is
gosh.
no contradiction because we have the ability to
Wait, hold
instantiate
up.
both X and Y.
Wait a second. Okay, and so what is then explaining the gratuitous evil if there's no contradiction in free will and there being no evil? What is explaining the evils?
What is explained evils? Okay, so
Like, do you need me to track it back to the original argument so you have like some actual like reference to why you have to explain that?
yeah, sure, but
I already
don't know
demonstrated that God
I don't
would
know why you're
prevent
going
all
in
gratuitous
circles with
evils
this, but-
unless he has a conflicting desire. You said that conflicting desire could be free will, right? But we've already cleared up there is no logical requirement for evil given there's free will. We already cleared that up. He could have still prevented all evils.
I tried to give you the
hold up,
argument. You
hold
said
up.
you didn't
He
want
still
to. I
could
said
have
if God is
prevented all
classically
evils,
defined.
and there still be free will. And so that doesn't work as a conflicting desire because it wouldn't be a conflicting desire anymore.
Yeah, okay, so let's just start off with this. Like, I just don't think it would be. You do know what like transworld depravity is, correct?
Yeah, I think you just searched
I'm
it up
just
now, and I'm
assuming.
aware of it. I actually mentioned it beforehand. You didn't know what it was.
No. I asked you, do you want to talk about that? No, I asked, do you want to talk
No,
about that right now?
no.
But I never said that.
No,
I didn't know what transworld depravity was.
I said
I don't
Platinga's free
know
will defense
what's
transworld
going on.
depravity. You said
And
I
then
don't
this
know what
doesn't
that
even.
is. Wait, can you tell me?
Wait,
Can
can
you
we
tell me
play
what
the
it
clip
is?
where I said I don't know where transworld depravity is? I
Can you
said,
tell me what it is?
yeah, for any possible world, God, yeah, for any possible world, God could create free creatures. At least use one. Freely choose evil. At least one of these things would. At least one of these creatures, right? God could would create a world containing free creatures. At least one of these creatures would freely choose evil.
Oh my gosh!
This is explained under transworld depravity. Like what?
That isn't it. You gotta search it up again because that isn't it. I can tell you what it is, but search it up again and then we'll get the answer. That isn't it though. Do you want me to tell you? You're gonna search it up again. You have to answer that. Do you want me to tell you?
Rookie.
Because I can tell you what it is.
Yeah, sure, Rookie.
Every creature suffers from transworld depravity. They suffer from it, in which to be truly free, they must commit at least one immoral action. It doesn't say there's at least one creature.
Wait, hold on. Oh my God! I just explained it, and then he tried to give me a spin back of my own explanation.
I wasn't done. He said there must be at least one creature. That's incorrect. Every creature must commit at least one immoral action, given they suffer from transworld depravity. It isn't talking about the quantification of creatures. It's talking about the quantification of immoral actions for every creature. That's an incorrect way to describe transworld depravity. That's just like wrong. It's off the dome as well.
And why would it be incorrect to wait? Hold on. In some plausible world, I simply said that there is a world of like creatures, right? It can be one, it can be two, it can be three, right? All that has to do. Wait, do you think that there would be no transworld depravity if only one creature, chose another action? I always said that they had to choose. I never posited that all other creatures can't commit to these actions. I just simply said one could commit.
But
they all have the option to do so.
First off,
hold on.
This is
they
just
all suffer from the same sin. What?
This is just true by definition.
Are we serious?
The definition you gave isn't compatible with the definition I gave, and the one that I gave is what it means to suffer from transworld depravity. Unless you're using some very new version of it, but that's not what Platinga said. Additionally, I need to press you on divine simplicity, dog. Like,
hold on, Rookie.
No, stop. It's my time.
You do know that
it's my time.
If one person commits,
wait, is there moderation? Because it's my time. It's not his. So, can you tell me what divine simplicity is?
Okay, I'm letting.
Can you tell me what divine simplicity is? Go ahead.
Why would this be necessary for me to
It
answer?
is a component of your view. Do you know what divine simplicity is?
Yeah, sure. For the sake of it, I'll just say no. Go ahead.
You don't know what divine simplicity is.
Sorry for missing that moderation moment. Yeah, it is your time, Rookie. Go ahead.
All right, appreciate you. Yeah, you don't know what divine simplicity is? Yo.
You're gonna.
No, I'm asking you. Can you define it? Can you define it? Yes or no? Can you define it?
Yeah, I'll just say no for the sake of it. Go ahead.
You can't define it. So you don't know what the proposition we're debating here tonight is. That follows from you not knowing.
I definitely know. I definitely know the proposition that we're arguing for. We're arguing is this triune entity, right? God that is explained under classical theism. True. Does he exist?
Okay. And so does God necessarily have to be divinely simple?
Does he have to be divinely simple? No, I don't think he has to be simple.
Oh my God.
I think he's a complex entity.
He's complex? God is complex under classical theism? Yes or no?
No,
He is. Wait, you just said he's
obviously not. He's
complex.
divinely.
Wait,
Yeah, I just. Oh my
wait,
god.
say it again. God is complex under
Sure.
classical theism. I want you to say it.
No, I never said God is complex under classical theism. I said he is complex. Does that like make it seem to be true
No,
that like
what you say? You it's a tautology. You
God
say
is
God
wait,
is
hold
complex.
on.
That he is
Wait, now
complex.
let's just like a blunder on my hold on. Hold on, rookie? Can you answer my one question?
What's
Did
up?
I say that God is complex under classical theism? Or did I just say he's complex?
You
Did
said
I just
he is
make the claim that he's
complex, and so
Did
I
say
just
he is?
reformatted. It's a tautology. You're just saying the same thing again. I'm just adding context. You're saying the same thing though. You said he's complex under classical theism. Like, did you even like?
Hold on.
Did you do
Hold
any
on.
research?
Who said
Dog?
that God is just identical with perfect goodness? What the?
How is that relevant, bro? How is
I
that
don't
relevant?
think. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
He's
lie.
just. Oh
It's
my
pretty
god.
clips, bro.
Do you
Like,
think? Hold on. Do you
it's pretty
think
clear
that
you
like
didn't do any
this?
studying, dog. I over prepared hella for this because I had so many things ready, like the aloneness argument, impassibility, like Ryan Mullins, all that stuff. Like, I didn't need all that. So yeah, I guess we're done.
Okay, we have to cut it off there. With that, we're going to move on to closing statements. Both of you guys are going to get 5 minutes. So, young scholar, your 5 minutes is going to start whenever you say your first word.
Yeah, you can start it right now or later. I don't know. Because this doesn't even like he didn't even like. Okay, so my interlocutor, right? We just went on in circles about the. Well, it didn't go really going on circles. It was more like a blade in a ring, just bouncing back and forth. Um, I don't really know what was going on here with what he was saying. It doesn't disprove, right? What you call it? That God under the classical theist view is false. What he was talking about was trans. What we started off with was, it just seems to be right. We were first talking about my argument with type B physicalism, and then psychophysical harmony, and then right we were talking about the elements in which classical theists deem to be true in virtue of God existing. Then we talked about what's going to be what you call it fundamentally be an oxymoron within God's view, in which my interlocutor stated about a world which we would choose free will um, and all good actions, and being able to instantiate these actions. Right. We talked about these things, and it just seems I asked him. He agreed with me that these two options do exist within these libertarianly free will worlds, or whatever he was talking about with liberty. Right. He said that these options can be instantiated, but we would choose the good, which just obviously operates with free will. I do thank him for debating me. It was really helpful with me, and I do appreciate this, but I don't appreciate how you know I continue to get bashed in the head. When we were going in circles, and then he said, "Oh yeah, I've just seemed to be lost." And I asked him for clarification. I gave the clarification. It just seemed to be the same statement again. I don't really know how this will disprove that classical theism is true, as we only talked about one of the properties that is under classical theism. I don't really know if that's what he meant to do, or if this is what just happened. But I don't know, dude. Like, this is quite interesting how we didn't even get to the real properties of the debate, but it's perfectly fine. I don't really know how to feel about that. But I at the end of the day, all I can do is be grateful for it. But I appreciate Rookie and everyone else coming out here, even if you didn't like the debate, even if you do like me or don't like me. I do appreciate you for coming out. I don't know if you know you came out here to watch the debate. Well, this is what you got. I'm glad for you guys to deciding to watch, and I thank Rookie for debating me and taking time out of his day to debate me. Thanks from Coco for debating me. Thanks everybody for watching. All right, that's about it. All I have to say. My lips are dry as fuck, but GG's, bro.
Okay. Are you ending your closing statement there?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. And with that, that concludes his closing statement. Now, Rookie, you're going to get 5 minutes to do your closing statement. It starts whenever you say your first word.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So I just want to summarize what's happened. So first, I started by giving the logical problem of evil. we agreed on the premise that gratuitous evils aren't prevented by God, but he wanted an argument for why God would prevent these gratuitous evils. I then gave the argument to which he agreed against, but he then said that they aren't gratuitous anymore, which is a retraction on that claim, because they're required for free will, which is his greater good, right? But I then asked him what's the contradiction, given this is logically required because God's omnipotent. He didn't give the contradiction. Actually, no, he did. He gave two contradictions. He said that God should prevent evils and shouldn't, and then also that humans can't do evil and can. So that's two different contradictions. Neither were justified. And then we kind of just talked a lot about LPOE until we got back to his argument for classical theism to justify all 7 proponents of classical theism, which he didn't know were true of classical theism. He gave psychophysical harmony argument, which he didn't even give the actual argument. He just said it's best explained by classical theism. He didn't give any Bayesian analysis. He didn't tell me what explanatory resources are used in classical theism to explain the data. He just said it is. So not only could I have granted that theism best explains psychophysical harmony, and even if one of the properties of God doesn't have explanatory power, then it just isn't true that classical theism best explains the data. So I didn't even get to cook him on that. So we then went ahead to further on the LPOE, into which he didn't give a response to the free will, how I destroy the free will defense. And then he wanted to talk about transworld depravity, which he didn't know about until I told him, because I literally told him this is what transworld depravity is. It's what Platinga uses. And then he said, why would it be 1? He said, why would it be 1 in the middle of the debate? And that shows me he doesn't know what transworld depravity is. And then he mentions it later, so obviously he searched it up and he found it, which is fine. And then just top it off, he didn't know what divine simplicity was. He said God is complex. Yeah, it was a little rough. I over-prepared for this. I did a lot of research, studied a lot, so maybe I'll debate somebody else soon on it, but that's it. Also, thank you to Coco and the judges and Scholar. Thank you.
Okay. Are you concluding your closing statement there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. With that, everyone, that's going to conclude the first debate that we had tonight. The debate was classical theism is true. Rookie.kg from the OG Kylo squad versus Scholar from the AF squad. I did get a report recently. I think that CapG is having some technical difficulties, and we might have to cancel the second debate that was supposed to happen next. It was supposed to be over error theory is true. Cap.kg from the OG Kylo squad versus Trivialist from the AF squad. So we might have to cancel that debate. We're having some technical difficulties on that part and a last minute call out, but that's fine. What we're going to do is audience questions, comments, questions, critiques, concerns, and then we're just going to kind of hang out for a little bit. And then the debate that is going to happen, the third debate, that starts at 9:01 p.m. Central Daylight Time. It's going to be OG Kylo versus OG Kylo from the Kylo crew, led by OG Kylo, versus CZ from the AF crew. The topic is going to be trans women are women, and that's going to start at 9:01 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So, okay. The AF crew is going to be Knowledge Gap, I think, or I don't know.
No, the KG in their name stands for the KG in their name stands for Knowledge Gap.
Oh, okay. KG stands for Knowledge Gap. Okay. I thought it was Kylo, but okay. With that, I guess right now what we're gonna do is the 15 minutes of audience questions, comments, concerns, and critiques, and then I'm gonna put up a poll. So anyone in the audience, there's 38 people in here. You can vote on who you thought won. But ultimately, what's going to determine the debate tonight is going to be Hatim's vote. So, but I will put up the poll, and the poll will be out there for anybody who wants the poll results. So, with that, we can start bringing up guests and doing the 15 minutes audience questions, comments, concerns, and critiques. So, I'm looking at the people in the guest requests.
You want me to go first? Give my.
Oh, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I prefer to.
Okay, Hatim, you can go first and give your deliberation and whoever you thought won the debate. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a rubric. I'm, the categories are opening statements, cross-examination, clash and responsiveness, closing statements, and conduct and fairness. For the opening statements, I have Rookie winning in opening statements. He was a bit more prepared, less pauses, a bit more substance in the opening statements, and wasn't as fast. Both were still like you guys both scored a bit low than I expected on this, but Rookie was just a slightly better in opening statements because was just sounding his opening statement just flowed better and was a bit more structured. And the cross examination, I think, is just where the debate was won. Obviously, of course, it is, but it was just like. Let me read my notes real quick. The direction of answers, the directedness of answers. I think Rookie did a great job asking very poignant, decisive questions. What's the precise? Surgical, I would say. Like I was looking for the word surgical. Like he was like a surgeon, just making sure that he's cutting out the fat, making sure that we're getting right to the meat. And you can tell that young scholar was having a bit of a hard time answering some of the questions. Some pauses there, long pauses that were very noticeable. Those very good points towards Rookie. So I could just tell you what the major concessions was like. There was a major concession that gratuitous evils must be prevented for the lack of evil in order for God to be all good. I think the debate reduced to like essentially the debate reduced to like whether or not the classical theism is true, like one of the properties for God, which is his all goodness. So, and the contention really was just the like 90% of the debate is whether or not gratuitous evil was compatible with God being all good. And a Rookie just did a good job in harping this down. What's the contradiction? And two of the contradictions that was posited was by young scholar was just never really defended. And that's essentially what really won the debate overall, let alone that young scholars seem to not understand the properties of classical theism, one of them being divine simplicity. I do think overall, just like overall approach to the debate, instead of going simpler, I think one thing both of you can work on is just being more clear in your rhetoric in terms of just being more precise and slowing down, not being so fast. But I just want to praise Rookie just for being, in terms of what the concept of what he's saying is clear, but also framing the debate. I think framing the debate is very important, and Rookie was, I think, the one that kept framing the debate overall throughout the debate. And I think that's a great job by Rookie, framing the debate, what it means to win this debate, and how exactly the burden was met or not met from affirmation. I don't think the affirmative position, right? Like you need to defend theism, not just say something and hope that the opposition doesn't disprove you. Like disproving is not the way for opposition. It's not the only way for opposition to win. Opposition can win just by making the reasons for why you're justified questionable. And if you don't have an answer to the questions opposition proposes, then you're not going to show that you're being justified in believing. So that's going to be the main reasons why I scored it up out of 100. I got Rookie as an 89 and young scholar as a 43.5, given all the things listed. Yeah.
Okay. With that, thank you for your judges' vote. So The winner in regards to judges' vote is going to be Rookie at the end of the day, given her team's judge declaration. But really quick reminder, everyone in the comments, right now in the left corner of your screen, you've got 57 seconds. There's a blue clipboard that I'm pointing at. That's where you can vote for the audience poll, so we can get those results. And all of the debate results I post on the blog site, my blog site, as well as we have a Day of Debates blog site. I post all the results on the Day of Debates blog site, but I might need to update it. But yeah, with that, we're going to move on to the audience questions, comments, concerns, and critiques. So I'm going to look at who's in the guest request, and then I'm going to bring people up.
Also, I just want to say, first of all, young scholar, I commend you. It takes a lot to come up here, and you did. I think overall, you made a commendable effort. And I want to also say, same thing with Rookie, and I want to thank you both for participating and being good faith interlocutors. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Wait, also really quick, I think both of you guys did a really good job. Wait, really quick, is the Knowledge Gap crew not originally started by OG Kylo?
It was started by Cap.
It was Kylo.
Oh,
Kylo
yeah.
and Cap.
Oh,
It was Kylo and Cap.
Was it Kylo or was it Cap?
It's both of them.
Oh, they both
Yeah.
started it? Okay. I was wondering who created it. But okay. Knowledge Gap. Okay, cool. The Knowledge Gap crew.
But don't forget who the Godfather is.
Who?
You may be the founder. Don't forget the Godfather.
Who's the Godfather?
I'm just kidding, bro. Just kidding.
Oh. Okay. But Pensive, welcome up. Do you have any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques?
Yeah, young scholar, how do you respond to the parody of trans world depravity?
Would you be referring to the sanctity?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I would just say logical possibility doesn't guarantee feasibility, and then God can't determine free choices without. Well, God can determine free choices, but He can't determine these free choices without removing freedom.
That's not what.
And then it may be that every feasible world with feasible creatures contains some evil.
Yeah, that. Well, one, the type of. So when Platinga developed trans world depravity, he used a universal quantifier that is possibly for all x has a significantly 3 TW or TWD. However, in the parody, you move from a universal quantifier to an existential quantifier, and generally, universal quantifiers have reasons to negate them from counterfactual reasoning. So, I mean, and it's just obviously more defensible to say that possibly that,
Where do you go?
I don't know. I think you got a phone call. But also, we have tons of time until 9:01 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So we'll do quite a bit of comments, questions, concerns, or critiques. But we can hang out or we can fill the time with questions, comments, concerns, or critiques. But yeah, we got until 9:01 p.m. That's when the next debate starts. And Central Daylight Time.
Okay, that's fine. You can let up as well. Can you let up a person called CH?
Oh yeah, I can do that. CH can come in. Oh, and then also, if any of the debate contestants have to go before 9, you don't have to stay the whole time. But if you have to go, then you have to go. But congratulations to you both. I think you both did very well. I think Pensive timed out. But yeah, both of you guys did very well. Both of you guys studied. I think you guys both did a good job. But yeah, thank you guys for competing here, and feel free to debate here if you want to debate here anytime that you want to. Just send me a DM and we can set anything else up. But yeah.
Yeah. Can you also let up Og's DVA?
Okay, let me see. But with that, CH, do you got any questions, comments, concerns, or critiques?
Yeah, I do have one question for Scholar.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, could you justify as to why under theism, psychophysical harmony is going to be more expected under theism?
Oh, dude, you stole my question.
I'm so sorry. And yeah, I'm just wondering if you can justify that. over like naturalism or something of that matter.
Natural, you do know like physicalism does like can be explained under naturalist views, correct? You are aware that is like feasible.
Give me a second.
You can like
Okay, I mean,
uh,
I had a quick.
okay.
So, Rookie gave an objection where he tried to explain psychophysical harmony with natural selection. I actually don't think that's a good response, but why do you not think that's a good response, Scholar?
No, okay, so I never said it wasn't a good response. I just asked he was talking about evolution.
If I could
Which
frame the
I
question better, actually, why do you think evolution doesn't explain it just as
doesn't
well
explain
as classical theism?
just psychophysical harmony.
Why can
Oh
evolution
no,
not account
I
for
don't
it as
think
well?
no, I just don't think I never said it couldn't do it just as well. I just think what I said specifically during the debate was mine was more like when we talk about the razor. We were talking about the well what I said I was talking about the razor. I just
Are we
yeah.
cutting out or?
Yeah. Y'all are good.
Okay. So, what type of parsimony did you say your view wins on? Is it like ontic,
Oh no.
quantitative?
Yeah, I guess yeah, I don't posit as many entities as like he does when we talk about
Well,
psychophysical
Rookie,
harmony and then like evolution.
Rookie
Oh,
would
go ahead.
obviously
My
win on like
apologies.
ontic parsimony, right? Because he's introducing less types of existences. So,
Yeah, I can
Wait,
yeah.
Scholar,
agree to
what do you
that.
think psychophysical harmony is? Just so we're clear on that.
What?
What do you think psychophysical harmony is?
Yeah. Uh, you said okay. Is- well, it's just they're talking about the relation between that of like brain, mental states, and then that of like physical actions. Like we commit to these things,
Yeah,
and there's a
yeah.
correlation between the two.
Physical actions? That seems weird. But yeah, wait, I'm just wondering as to
Well,
how you think like this is gonna be more explained. Like under like theism. Just wondering.
you said how's it going to be more explained under
Or
theism?
better explained under like the theistic worldview.
Yeah. I mean, my bad. I guess I just take it to be the well. I should stop saying that. That's generally going to make me mad. Well, when we talk about psychophysical harmony under both, evolution, and then we talk about it under, theism, evolution like posits that, like, well, we would have to go through this whole chain of events, right? First, there would have to be some sort of genealogy in which would have to be posited within this natural world, right? And to get this, mind, there would have to be, some sort of genealogy or like, gene tactic that would like, produce the teleos to this higher rationale. Then this genetic code would then have to be inputted into some sort of entity. And when we say entity, I'm just like taking like any, being with the teleos to like have a higher, like, higher rationale. Maybe a chicken, maybe an egg. Well, not maybe a chicken, not an egg. No, maybe a chicken and an egg, or like maybe a lizard.
Okay.
And then after, like, oh, dang. But maybe
you
the,
can finish up your answer, and then we'll move on to the
I
next
mean, like
person.
maybe the lizard or the egg, and then like, once the gene is inputted, then the thing is born, and then this teleo has to be reached within like, a certain, you know, linear way of development, and then it has this, psychophysical harmony once it's like, enabled within this like specific entity under like evolution. For I could just simply say that like the soul is posited, and then like, God gave us the teleos, and then like as soon as we're like born, we're innate. It's innate within our entity because we all have souls as like humans. Like
Hey, since we're hanging out, I also had some. I wanted to tell Rookie about something. Rookie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There was a missed opportunity
he's
that you
literally
had.
not.
Huh? I was gonna say, Rookie. I wrote down in my notes that there was like a missed opportunity
Mm-hmm.
that you could have like really harped on when you were cross-exing young Scholar about does heaven have free will? He bit the bullet, right? That's saying that they don't, right? Remember?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
But But you're trying to get him to say that, you know, there are people, there is such a thing where there is someone that doesn't have free will, um, or rather that they do have free will, but yet still not do any evil. And I thought that maybe a good question could have been, does God or Jesus have free will?
Oh, yo, I forgot about that. Yo,
That would have been, I think, a better
I totally
follow-up.
forgot about that. High key, yeah. That's like, yeah, that's the one. Low key.
I'm curious what young scholar would say to that. Does Jesus or God have free will?
Does Jesus or God have free will? God is. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just. Well, you said, does Jesus have free will?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he most definitely had free will, bro.
Did he
I mean,
did he commit any evils?
I think he just committed. No, he's righteous. He's divinely righteous.
Right. So it wouldn't be
Um,
impossible. We have an example.
I don't know how to pronounce her name. People were cooking at me for like pronouncing her name wrong.
Hatim?
Yeah. Oh, so I did. So why am I getting cooked? I said Hatim, and
That was
I
the
got
original.
I got. Oh, no, I said Hatim. I didn't say Hatim. I said Hatim. I said Hatim. What you
But
call it?
I
So
guess you can answer to that, and then we can get to Frege.
Yeah, what's up, mate?
Freaky Geach.
Yeah, you could say that.
But before you go, Scholar, I guess answers to that, and then we'll get to him.
That you do goods without evils and have free will. Bro, Scholar, then you get to the point you're good. You can do goods without evils. I don't think you can. I think you can do goods without evils, but that wasn't like the point I was like against. I don't know if like anybody was like listening to me or just didn't care to listen to me. I just said like as long as these like options, if there's two options, right, and like these things can be instantiated with like one entity, like the entity like posits, as long as the entity can posit these two given choices, right, then I think it's okay to say that this is free will, right? If you can commit to good, right, as long as there's the ability to instantiate the evil action, right, but you choose instead to, instantiate the good action, I think it's perfectly fine to say that it's also free will.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just
With
choosing
that,
to be a righteous, a good person.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were finished. But
No, sir, I'm perfectly finished. I'm perfectly finished.
Okay.
You can, Frankie Geach can talk.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. How do I pronounce it? Is
Yeah,
it?
it's Frege.
Oh, okay. Frege. Okay.
So I guess my question will go to a young scholar over here. So I was wondering, because in your debate you said you were a physicalist. So I was wondering, when you reference physicalism, are you just saying physicalism on the mind, or physicalism in general?
Guess you could just say, well, are you talking about my personal beliefs or what I was positing in the debate, sir? I guess we could just talk about type B physicalism, like as a whole, sir.
Oh, so you think everything's physical? Everything that exists, that is?
And when you posit physical, you're just talking about like the ability to obtain. I guess I'm just talking about matter in this instance. Yeah, I think everything's made of matter.
So, and you're a theist, right?
I'm a theist. Yeah.
So you think God's made of matter?
Do I think God is made of matter?
Yeah.
I don't think that's entirely out of the the question, but I don't think he would be made of the type of matter that we would consider.
Okay. That's great. All right. I think my questioning's over.
Okay. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate it.
Of course.
If you follow me, I'll follow you, and I host debates. But with that, who wants to come up next?
That's the Mormon view. What the? Hold on. Who said I was a who? Wait, wait, can you bring up, well, no, I don't know if she even wants to come up here. I shouldn't do that without another person's consent, but like she said that's the Mormon view. I didn't even like give my take on what type of Christian I am. I've gone asked 6 questions so far. It just seems to be the case that I'm not really liked
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
does anyone? Yeah, I'm wondering if anyone has anything for Rookie, but
Oh, I have a
yeah,
question.
go for it.
Well, I have a question to actually both the debaters. I want to first say congrats to both the debaters for the performance, but I have a question. How long did you guys prep, and were you guys nervous before the debate? That's my one question combined.
Yeah, I'll answer first. So, probably like 2 or 3 hours of prep, because most of the prep I did was in class, like during class, because I have work after school. But was I nervous? No, not really, because I know Scholar doesn't really debate theism, so I wasn't that nervous.
Nah, this was my first ever time debating theism. I guess if he just means by nerve, this is like, having some sort of incongruency within my schema, then probably. It's most likely the case that I did. And then I just whoever's
Is it
heavily breathing, that's
Hold on.
really off-putting.
Okay.
But yeah, this is my first time debating theism. I probably will do a lot more studying from now on. But what is he saying? Yeah, I know what nervous means. I'm very clear on that. And how long did I prep? I only did about like in the entire 2 weeks. I only like did it like about 4 hours for like the entire 2 weeks, because most of the time I was like doing lab, like finishing my studies with like biology. But yeah, that's all I did. I have all my arguments written down. I didn't expect him to ask like 3 of the questions that he did ask, so I was unprepared for that, and I do feel sorry for myself on that part. But that's the answer to the
is it my turn to ask questions?
Yeah.
Or
If you
is it my
have any questions, comments, concerns, or critiques, go ahead, Power.
Well, yeah, I had a question about was it you that was question that's talked about questions about how God has like free will, and then free will when you go to heaven. How would you know if you have free will in heaven? Have you been to heaven before? Because how would you know God will has free will in heaven and on the planet that we live on? Because I know we don't have free will. Or at least God doesn't provide free will, because the stuff you see goes around the world does not have anything to do with free will. Like war,
good.
there's no free will when you go
Who's
to
this
war. There's
question
no
for?
free will when there's
Who's this question for?
Is this
the
question
guy.
for me, or is it a question for Rookie? Because Rookie was the person who asked the question. I simply answered it.
Yeah, he was talking about like free will when you go to heaven, and free will when God provides free will, is what I was heard from in the first debate you guys did. When you asked a question about if God provides free will in heaven, and I was unsure if you just said that or the other guy that said that. So I was just curious about that. Because I never been to heaven, so I don't know how free will leads to heaven, though.
I guess I could answer I mean, Rookie, are you here or like what?
Yeah, I'm here.
All
Do you need me
right.
to answer? Or?
Hey, he
Yeah, I
asked
was
you.
curious about
I think
that.
he asked you why you. I think he asked you why did you ask the question about free will in heaven when we haven't been to heaven?
Yeah,
asked
so
something else. He asked,
Yeah,
how do you know
yeah,
whether or
we
not
know.
he wrote it?
Oh, how did? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's your question. He asked you. I mean, you're the one who asked it. So
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just curious about that, because I know I've never been to heaven either. But
But
if we actually go to heaven, how do you know you go to heaven when we aren't alive?
hey, Power,
facts.
How do you know God is there?
Power, I think for clarity's sake, Rookie was asking young Scholar about what his belief was, not whether or not he knew it. So regardless of whether or not he knew it, he was just asking whether or not it's under his view that this would be the case.
Oh, because he did say something about heaven, and don't
Yeah.
know if you would know if you go to heaven or not, because I know that is what it says in the Bible, but I don't really believe in the Bible. So,
Thank you for coming up, brother.
oh yeah, thank you.
I don't know what's like. I mean, I've gotten.
Yep. Thank you for your question.
Anything else?
Okay.
Oh, is that someone's? Oh, that's his face.
Yes.
My bad. I have like I have bandage wrap on like one of my eyes, so like I couldn't see it like your fucking face till I turned around. My bad. I thought that was like something else, bro.
What's up, Wavy
Okay.
Thrill?
Yeah.
Don't get chemicals in your eyes, kids. It really hurts. But yeah,
shoot.
thanks.
Sorry about that.
for
I
the
hope you recover
questions.
from that.
Nah, bro, it's perfectly fine, bro. It's literally like well, no, it's like a couple chemical burns, but I'll be okay, bro. That shit does not matter. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Wavy Thrill. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns, or critiques for any of the debaters in the debate that just happened? You there,
I'm
Wavy
guessing
Thrill?
he's not. I don't know what's going on. I don't think he's here.
You good, Wavy Thrill?
Um,
All right. Well,
I guess not.
Yep, we're gonna have to drop it there. I guess we do have a person.
I guess.
Steel Man. Maybe he
Oh,
wants to say something, but
hello.
with that, we're
Hello,
just
everyone.
chilling until 9:01.
It's quite a pleasure
Yeah.
meeting you, sir.
My official freaking forum record is 1-2, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, that's your
So
that's
yeah,
your
that's
stat.
crazy. But yeah, that's my
still-
stat, 1-2. So now I have a 33.33 continuing. But go ahead.
Steelman, you got any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques for us in regards to the
comments?
debate that just happened?
Oh, I just started. I just entered. I would like to say one thing to sir. I knew you as a different handle, but perhaps I have seen you for the past like several months, and I'm a fan, absolutely a fan. So like honestly, yeah, you see Coco.
Oh, okay.
I know I haven't met you like personally and professionally or how formally, but it's been a pleasure, honest to God, just watching you host all these debates and you're grinding so hard. And I hear about you grinding. It's quite a pleasure, honestly. I'm on my Twitch chat right now. If you want to see my Twitch, hey Twitch, look at my TikTok. Anyways, if you don't mind, I'll just actually chill and eat my food and listen. And I actually, at any point, I'll just comment on the debate. Wait.
Yeah, for sure.
We're the next
problem.
debaters.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 2 years, and like big W for like both of the debaters who debated. And yeah, no, like, it's really awesome. I love what I do. Hopefully, I can do it for a living, and I'm gonna keep doing it. Yeah.
No way to say
I
Antichrist.
can't do it without the people who. I can't do it without the people who support.
Coco, yo, you do know Carl is like like a psychopath, right? Like he's actually insane.
Yeah, Carl, I think, has done some crazy ass things.
No, like he's actually like called girls like insane things. Like he's like genuinely like insane. Like I've seen the things that he's done, and like he's like, oh my god. I never thought I would see him again. I haven't seen him in like 4 months. Dude, listen, keep the drama, dude. Kylo, he's literally like a threat. Like he genuinely makes me fear.
Yo, wait, sorry to interrupt.
Even on the internet.
Coco, do you know Steelman?
I think he follows me on social media. I think I know him via social media. I think I've DM'd him at one point. Yeah.
Yes, you have.
Yep. Yeah. And yeah, like again, like,
Alright.
I can't do what I do without the people who follow me. I appreciate everyone who follows me. I appreciate everyone who debates. And so yeah, it's been pretty cool. This August is gonna make 3 years I've been doing this debate stuff. So I started in 2023, and yeah, this August is gonna make 3 years.
Wait, Cap is here.
Okay. But yeah, in regards to when does the next debate start? Steelman, I might. Oh, okay. No, you're good. You just had a little bit of background noise, but that's it. But, in regards to when the next debate starts, it's supposed to start at like 7. Well, okay. So, wait, did you say Cap is here?
Yeah, Cap is here, but yeah, I don't know. I just saw him, so maybe a little bit impulsive, but my fault.
Oh no, you're good. Cap, if you still want to debate, I guess we could run it. But as far as I'm concerned, someone told me that Cap wouldn't be able to make it. So like the next debate would be Kylo versus AF, which is supposed to happen at 9:01 p.m. Central Daylight Time over Trans Women Are Women. But if Cap is not ready to debate, then we can just chill. I can run my usual live, does God exist, and wait until then. It is what it is.
Oh well, Coco, do you think the LPO is successful?
In this debate, I think it was pretty successful. I don't think there was like a
Host
good
is
enough
not allowed to have
answer to
opinions.
that. So what?
The host is not allowed to have opinions.
But also, yeah, like I don't think I can really have opinions on the debate. I mean, like, maybe I can. I don't know.
No, outside the debate though, like, do you think the LPO will be successful?
Outside the debate, I think for me, me personally, I have many issues in regards to like why I don't believe in Christianity, and I think like I do hold to evidential and logical, but I think like evidential with the Bayesian analysis, for the likelihood of like gratuitous evils, I think is like the better argument. So like I would probably run it in the sense of, there was this one debate I watched with Exploring Reality versus Captain Dadpool, and Exploring Reality was arguing the atheist position, but he's a Christian, and Captain Dadpool was arguing the Christian position, and he's an atheist. And the way that Exploring Reality ran it was using Bayesian analysis. There was like a 99 or a 9. It was either 90 or 99% chance that gratuitous evils exist. And if gratuitous evils exist, then that's in contradiction with an all-loving, all-good God. And so given the evidential problem of evil and this probability analysis, there's a clear contradiction here, or a high likelihood of it. So therefore, God doesn't exist. And I think evidential ran that way. It's probably super strong. And then logical, the logical problem of evil, I think, can easily be debunked by the trans world depravity concept by whatever that guy's name is. I forget it. Remind me. Yeah, Platinga. I think Platinga's trans world depravity concept is a response to logical problem of evil. So like I think evidential is better, logical is a little bit less. But yeah. But that'd be my response. But in the debate, I think like there wasn't really a clear answer towards the logical problem of evil presented, but I'm gonna leave it at that. And the judges voted, the audience voted. So but with that, do we got any more audience comments, questions, concerns, or critiques? If not, then we'll just run the regular live until 9:01 p.m. and we'll be good.
I have a comment.
Yeah, go for it.
Essentially, I believe that this might be a controversial opinion. I think the host should have all the opinions, or have all the right to have an opinion on the debate, regardless of whether or not it's a bias or any of these sort of like prejudice notions that we might assume we might have. It's just about whether or not it's correct to do certain things in debate and what's incorrect to do. So I think it's just a matter of your choice, Coco.
I mean, like, yeah, like I think like I think that does sort of make sense. I think like once the debate is finished, I can like give my opinions on the debate. During the debate, I do need to be like a neutral party. I think that does make sense. I have to rewatch the debate back, but I think both people did pretty good. I would say I need to rewatch the debate, and then I'll give my further consideration. Yeah. But with that, I guess we're just going to run the live regularly until OG Kylo's debate at 9:01 p.m. So I'm going to change the background.